My Gavan and Melanine, and well met indeed. I am Baruk Khazâd, the head of the modding team behind Divide and Conquer, and welcome back to Divide and Conquer as we continue on as the shouldn't have bounced into it, should I? With Khazad-dûm. Khazad-dûm. We are in our position of power and only going stronger and stronger. We've taken down Yard from the Dun Lendings, we've taken down Narak, we've taken Byrig. We are consolidating holds on all of those, and by that, when I use that term, which I think I use a lot, what I mean by that is we are gaining culture and building buildings. We are besieging the town of Northern Tharbad, the last, well, not the last, Dunland have probably got Matrice, as you can see from that Aztec banner. We're besieging Northern Tharbad, a biggish city, north of the River Gwath, low, grey flood. We are besieged once again by the mountain orcs, but we are attacking them at their stronghold of Zagala with a cool army.
Honor, my lord.
And hopefully we'll be able to get some money together to defend our capital city. My apologies, my brain is in two places. I think we're in end turn. Let's end the turn.
Can I be of service?
Where shall I send you, actually? No one else really wants our map, in fact. Go and find out who owns this town.
Of course, sire. Today's journey is over, sire.
Let's end the turn. I've missed the button. There we are. The hour is early. I stayed up late yesterday. This is late as well, isn't it? I did the FAQ settlement video, and then when I got home on Thursday, I just didn't really want to record. So I said, I'll record on Friday, pop it up on Saturday, and then the Khazad-dûm video is just a day late. And so you are probably still watching this on Saturday, but now I've recorded it in the morning of the Saturday, so it's gone up later than normal. But that's only really apparent, well, I suppose if any of you actually check when I upload them. But I've yawned, that's very unprofessional. But I think we're all beyond the stage of thinking that I'm in any way professional. Although I like to think that I have at least a modicum of self-respect. The mountain orcs, the Misty Mountains. Captain Muzzbug is the one who is attacking us. So we're going to get attacked from the front and the back. But Muzzbug's not got too much. In fact, he has nothing. The army is a joke. However, the general coming in behind him, he's not too bad. He's got some archer support for a change. And a couple of units of wargs, but they're not too much of a threat against dwarves. And it's these halberds and the 2 units of infantry that I'm most concerned with. But I think we should be all right.
The time's come, lads.
So we'll crack in. So, and then on Friday, unfortunately, the town in which I work, normally I can get in and out in 15 minutes, door to door, from my workplace to my home. So on Friday evening when I was coming home, first and foremost, I work in a court, and I quite frequently finish earlier than the standard finish time of 4:30. Or 4 o'clock, in fact. And but this Friday I didn't finish until 5 o'clock. Now, for those of you who actually have strenuous and difficult jobs, I apologise. And in no way do I request or ask that you have any sympathy for me whatsoever. But and then there was ridiculous traffic. There's normally never traffic in the town in which I live. It's not actually a town. By the laws that England follows that deem a town a city, it is the city of St. Albans because it has a cathedral. Now, I'm aware that Americans don't really follow that, and you just call anything that's got a person in it a city, basically. If it's got 1,000 people in it as a town, and if it's got anything more than that, you pretty much call everything a city. But in England, we have very strict laws around what governs a hamlet, a village, a town, and a city. Because we're like that. And wouldn't change it for the world. Oh, hold on. We're being attacked on 2 sides, aren't we? And those buggers are going to come in right behind us. Maybe... Oh, if we go up there, though, they can't actually get us. Oh, they might be able to. Haven't we fought this battle map before, but we were on this side? I feel like this is identical, and we were just there. So I wonder if they can get up. No, I don't think they can. Yeah, look, they can climb up there. And then perhaps get round? I don't know. And if we can get... No, no one will be able to get up that bit. That's too steep. I think that might just be a bit too douchey to try and stand up there and force the AI to all come all the way around the mountain. Hopefully see if they can walk their way up there. Because if they can't walk their way up there as well, then this just won't be a battle. So that would be dull. I think what we should do is just defend on this sort of circular section of hill. So back to my little story. there was traffic, and it took me, what normally takes me 15 minutes, took 50 minutes. And so by the time that I got home, I was so outraged that I'd lost most of the day, given that the day before that I got home at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I was just annoyed and didn't want to dig into my essentially gaming evening. Friday has become an evening where I play games with a Steam group. Search Steam for Brotherhood of the Swan if you also want to play Age of Empires with us. And there's a link to Discord there if you just read the description of the group. You know who you are. So I didn't want to record, so there you go. Here we are. Also, this morning I was watching a Lord of the Rings lore video that was not my own, by a channel called Exploring something or something like that. And the title of their videos are Exploring Middle-earth. And they did a video called Exploring Middle-earth, the Artifacts of Middle-earth. And and I don't know how to say this without sounding like I'm just trashing another channel that likes Lord of the Rings, but I didn't really enjoy it. I don't really like the scripted style of like information download videos. I mean, I know a lot of people probably don't like the rambling style that I have adopted, and that's fair enough, but I've adopted that style purely because that's what I want to listen to. So
The enemy have brought up more men. They hope to make up in numbers what they lack in courage.
and his was scripted, and I just didn't really enjoy it very much. Apologies. But he had almost exactly the same setup as myself, just random pictures scrolling in the background, save for his was scripted. And he says all the Lord of the Rings words with an American accent. But then I don't really know how to say that without sounding like a total douche. But then I'm allowed to not like something. Don't be so stupid. There's something else I think I was going to tell you. I can't remember what it is. Oh, my next lore video, I think I probably will do everything we know about Rune, Khand, Harad, and to an extent Umbar as well, if I haven't already covered that in Gondor's videos. And then possibly the one after that, I think I might do about Fëanor. Not Fëanor and the Sons of Fëanor, just Fëanor, because he, to the wider Lord of the Rings world, he has had a huge impact. Not only did he create the Silmarils and thus spark the entire war of the Silmarils, and not only is he one of the few elves that has ever led elves against other elves, but he's also just quite an interesting little creature. He also is one of the few elven, well, his family is one of the few elven instances where an elf essentially remarries. Because that's basically unheard of, and it's almost used as a reason as to why he's so, dare I say, different. But I won't cover his sons in the same video because they could probably have a video all to themselves, let's be honest. But Fëanor also creates the first written language for the elves. It takes them bloody years to work out how to do that. But then I suppose, is that really on your list of priorities when you know you can talk to each other? We just take it for granted because we all have written language. But if no one had ever invented written language, you had no idea even what it was. But then no, surely you'd want to get that across pretty quickly. Surely an elf someday was like, so they wouldn't have a word for it, but they must have been like, I'd really like to write a letter. Like, that guy's quite far away, and I'm pretty CBA with the journey, to be honest. So I want to tell him something without being able to, without speaking to him. Somebody make that possible. But anyway, Fëanor is the creator of I want to say Tengwar, but I can't remember the exact name of the original one he creates. I'm pretty sure Tengwar is a derivative further down the line of Fëanor's original script, but without having read those bits up. See what I mean? I've got general knowledge of pretty much all of the events of the Middle-earth, but I have to fill in the more elusive gaps by rereading the books. And when people ask me where do I get all this information from, 100% hand on heart, it is all just the books. No, I don't. There's no special website that gives you all the answers to all these questions. Like, it's literally just in the books. Search for their names in the indexes and read their names. And Unfinished Tales is always a good place to go if you want to learn something new, because it covers new stuff. And the only thing so far that I find and that I annoy myself with, and I don't know why I don't just do it, I suppose it's because I can't find it in book form. So if anybody does have a link to any way I can read them in an easier format, I'd love to. But I've not read the letters of J.R.R. Tolkien. I'm aware of some of the things that are said in them, such as the nature of Tom Bombadil and...
The battle is very much in our favour. If we remain true and steadfast, victory will be ours.
Certain things like that. But I've not actually read them for myself. And most of the time that I get, say, corrected, in inverted commas, in a video, or someone just, like, just knowledge drops me because they want to be that guy, almost invariably it's because I've said something that's mentioned in the book, but then is then changed in a later letter. And because of the general kind of theory with all those of us who read Tolkien is that the later he said something, the more weight that has to being the correct aspect. So, for example, Glorfindel is a prime candidate for this. Glorfindel, for a long time, was not the Glorfindel of the Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring book, and Glorfindel of the First Age were not the same person. But then in a later, I believe, letter, he finally decided, possibly even a note in a margin, there's a lot of things that he does that are just notes in margins, but then he later decided that they are the same person. And so again, if you took what he said at the beginning to be true, then they're totally different. They're just two Glorfindels. But then in a rendition, he then decided no, they would be the same. Oh, you jammy bastards! There is a way round. And their entire bloody army is going to come through that gap.
The battle is very
all right, over we go.
Favor.
Take everyone
if we
over.
True and steadfast, victory will be ours.
The line will hold, surely. What's shooting us? Oh, only goblin archers. We'll take the fire. Take the fire. Stand strong, my bearded friend. I am going to reintroduce the Odd Age of Empires video back into Le Chanel every now and then. And as I said before, I think I've said before, I do plan on continuing stainless steel. It's just currently on hold whilst we're doing the overviews. Oh, it doesn't look like they are coming this way. Oh, hold on, you're archers. Oh, I've moved the wrong unit. Oh dear. Kindly return to your place. And look, now you're outside the line, you idiots. Come back inside. You'll be pleased to hear that some of our dwarven units, if we pause the game and have a look, some of these images up here have been reworked as late as last night. The date is the 4th of February, 2017. And as late as yesterday evening, Elvenkind, who used to do almost all the UI work for DaC, actually, exclusively for DaC, and then he, the selfish bastard, decided to have a child, so he could no longer do any work for us. But he's returned. Well, he's always been testing for us, actually, but he couldn't really devote too much time to it, understandably. And but he came in yesterday, and he said, "I've done a load of new UIs. Would you fancy them? And they look incredible." So we'll at least get some to go along with Misty's nice UIs down here. Some of these more blurrier ones will be updated as well. Only the Elvenkind manages to make them clearer because he has the, and it's something that I've never been able to. I'm sure I could look into it and get it set up pretty easily, but he has the movie recording thing. Is all I know it as, that allows you to get right in amongst the units. So obviously this is as close in as I can get, but it allows you to actually get properly in, change the camera angle while the battle's paused and do all that kind of stuff. And if you ever watch the startup videos for some of the factions, it's the same trick that the gentleman who created all of those did. It's the same tool he used. If we have a little look at what's actually happening then, at the moment the smaller yet more... No, this is Ugmaz, isn't it? Yeah, Ugmaz has just arrived. No, hold on. Was it Captain Ugmaz and an Ugmaz as a general? I can't remember. Either way, we've just scuppered the buggers by ourselves coming down the hill. And our Dwarven warriors are going to try and shut down those crossbowmen. But our line is holding, as we'd expect it to hold, very, very well. I mean, they're not even being used at the moment. Our archers are getting shots off. We've got still a U2 units in reserve we aren't even using yet. And our strike infantry are going to burst down out of the mountainside and flank the mountain orc hunters. I do hope the settlement, custom settlement and FAQ video alleviated most of your questions. Obviously, I enjoy answering questions, but what I don't enjoy is answering the same question a million times. And so I tried to group together the questions I get asked the most into one place. And that was the point of the settlement FAQ video. Also, I'm not 100% sold on the thumbnails I created for them, but I wanted a bit more uniformity, and I wanted the words to just stand out really obviously. That's always my goal with UI. I always want the UI to basically tell me what the title can't. And that's because if the title exceeds even just a normal length, unless the title is like 4 words long, YouTube always cuts the end off of it wherever it displays your videos. So I have a smart TV and I watch YouTube on there, or I watch YouTube on my phone. And on both of those devices, the title of almost every video I've ever watched gets cut off. And so I don't really know what I'm looking at. So the thumbnail, which never gets cut off, is my main source of information. And owing to my frustration with other channels who the thumbnail doesn't tell you really anything, clickbait especially, I want to try and have my thumbnails tell you exactly what you need to know, and that's always been my goal. I'm surprised that I've done so well with my incredibly basic and simplistic attitude to all of this. But there we are. Are you out of arrows yet? No. Why aren't you even firing? Why are you shooting at something other than the goblin archers as well? Look at their prime positioning out there. What's the stats? 13%, 30%. Got the goblin halberds tied up. The Legion Axe Guard and the Mountain Orcs. Oh, they're getting slaughtered.
Dead. We have sent the cart to hell.
Oh, Captain Muzzbug. And then General Uzmug. Nobody beyond offensive. Right, it's time to assist. Let's see if we can get a bit of a rout by your mere presence. Oh, that was cool. And we did indeed get a rout. And they're all routing. Alright, well that was easy. As ever, Dwarven, Orcish morale has just broken half.
They have lost half their men.
I'm so tempted to just go ×6 now. The only place that I'm worried is that we're losing a lot. In fact, we're probably going to lose all of the Axe Guard to those Mountain Orc Hunters. But it is sort of over.
Force remains.
Many units are now running. The Mountain Orc Hunters are still fighting. There's some Goblin Infantry thinking they're going to be worth anything. You are weak and pathetic. Our lion's held there. Oh, everywhere else has run. Yeah, go on off, you bugger. Our Dwarven volunteers are chasing. You needn't. What's the problem is the dwarves? You just can't catch anyone who does stand and fight. Mountain Orc Hunters, that's what I mean. They're the only ones with the power to stop dwarves with their, in the early game with their armor piercing and high attack stat. Well, we've got them surrounded now. Goblin infantry there that haven't given up. Legion Demon Guard. Where did their general get to? Oh, there he is. Idiot.
The enemy army flees the field.
There they are. They fought for 2 seconds and ran away.
Cowards down.
Right, so the general is really the only thing we have to fight now. And it looks like he might. Oh, that's the Hobbit Halberd. Oh, the general did run.
Like the coward he is. Press onward and break the spirit of his army.
Capture some of those. Oh, that's as many as we've got. So where is Ugmaz? There he is. Ah, well, we're not going to get him, so we'll exit.
The enemy are utterly vanquished. This is a great victory, worthy of only the mightiest of generals.
I wouldn't say utterly vanished. Vanished? Vanquished. 407. Legion Deep in Guard. Well done, men. Well bloody done. The Legion Deep in Guard are actually slightly better than mainstream warrior, like pre-battle barracks event warriors. Oh, sorry, that was from clicking my fingers. I'm thoroughly enjoying my new microphone. It is a Blue Yeti, to a gentleman who said that. And the only reason the quality was bad last time was just, as I say, I set it to the record at its worst possible quality. Just, I can't imagine why you'd want to do that. Does it make file sizes smaller or something? I'm not really sure. Kill them all.
Glory and
Wipe them out.
We have plans and glory.
A question that was also raised in my Woodland Realm campaign, and raised quite often just to me in general, is why do I exterminate the populations? And to be honest, the number one reason I exterminate populations of orc towns is purely from role-playing, because we want to kill all the orcs. And I've never been bothered about getting governors with amazing traits or any of that. I've never cared about that level of the city management. And I'm not bothered that the town might make me more money if I left the people in it.
My king.
So I've always played a bit almost nonchalantly, to be honest. How have we just suddenly made 9 grand? Oh, because I just exterminated that population, didn't I? I didn't really want to attack the mountains because I'm well aware that they are a money pit, or a money pot rather, of just almost never-ending supply of money. And that was part of the reason why I didn't want to attack them.
Aye, sire.
Just take everyone, actually. Screw it.
We march to battle. Glory and honor.
Everyone but the general.
March.
Head back.
Aye, noble sire.
Ferry.
Aye, noble sire.
Get us some
Setting a vigilant watch here.
sight range. Oh, I've put you one too far away. Oh, that was a stupid idea.
Aye, noble sire.
Just want any kind of sight range I can get, really. Right, but now we've cut off our northern approach for the Misty Mountains, and Anon Enarod has, fortunately... Are we allied with Imladris? Oh, no, we're not. We should probably try and set that up. Imladris has fended off the orcs for a long, long time now, and Zagala and Eastern Khazad-dûm are now going to be the 2 points. Which is a shame, because the Eastern Khazad-dûm battle map, as we are all aware, is the Bridge of Khazad-dûm. I'm not all that keen on fighting there because I don't really like it. What am I doing with you, Tilly? Building towers. We've got the money now, so get on it.
Aye, noble sire, setting a vigilant watch here.
Oh, goodness.
Aye, noble sire, setting a vigilant watch here.
Yes,
Door.
my king.
Oh, does that mean Isengard and Endwythe are finally at war? Yes! Endwythe has gained an enemy and it's not us! Yes! Where's our diplomat?
Awaiting your command.
You there. New task for you. Join with the clans.
I must stop here.
Together, we will rule this Middle Earth. Oh, yes, we shall. 23. Oh, that was fortuitous. It's a Saturday. Saturnus Day. Or Saturnustag. Fascinating we use Saturday, isn't it? Absolutely fascinating. But I've covered days of the week before.
The enemy has surrounded us. We're
So
besieged.
I won't drone on about that anymore. But I really like days of the week and their origins. Not so much months, but I'm gonna start reading into months as well. Ah, we're losing money. So you're... Oh, bugger off, Isengard.
An honor.
Return to Danyard.
We march to
Ori, in that
Aye,
instance,
noble
maybe
sire.
your army is going to be best served south. Even just a sniff of Isengard's... No, why would Isengard bother with us when Endwythe is quite clearly beating them into submission? No, continue with the original plan.
In your name, sire.
Get people in the forts.
My king. Aye, sire. Onward. We've marched our limit. March.
Save on
We
some money
march
by
no further today.
removing our army. We're also only losing money at the moment because all 3 of our major money-making towns are being besieged by the stupid Misty Mountains.
I'm gonna stick you.
That's got 9 turns
Have a
left,
taste of my blade.
and that has 10, so we'll just
I'm
wait
gonna-
them
Do you
out.
wish to speak to me?
Aye, my lord. Of course, sire. Today's journey is over, sire.
So Endwythe have opted to fight for the forces of good. Maybe they've deemed me a stronger opponent than Dunland, which they should do, because I am, let's be honest. Zagala, what's this general here? Radnag.
I'm gonna stick you.
Radnag, mate, have you really got what it
Honor,
takes?
my lord. By your will, sire.
Oh,
we
no,
shall
you don't.
engage.
You don't anyway. Battle Khazâd. It's Frodo and Gandalf. Sitting in the House of Imladris. Or the last homely
My
house.
lord,
The House of
the
Elrond.
tide of battle seems to have turned against us. We must act and halt this turn of events.
Now, by my reckoning, my reinforcements are coming in from here. Yep. So, there we are. Our army's all together straight away, which is good. Speed it up. Unfortunately, you can't control them until they're actually on the field. Now, I'm pretty sure you can tell them to run to get onto the field. But then as soon as they do... Oh, no. So you can tell them to run, but they walk onto the field. And then once they're on the field, they then run to get into their positions. Interesting. Right, then, you guys can't currently run because you're in that formation. I don't want anyone on defensive. We're going all out hunger for war here. It does mean we're going to have 2 captains, which is annoying. Got to keep our second one alive. Right, and we've got this horrible battle map. Where are they? Oh, you've chosen an awful position. What on earth are you doing? You're practically offering yourselves up for death. Keep it at ×6. Are you all having a nice day? I know I'm having a nice day. My day's only really begun. I've watched 2 YouTube videos and I've recorded this video. There you go, insight into the life of myself. I was recently reading a Sindarian, I don't know, information website. And she was saying that upon reading a note that Tolkien wrote to someone who asked him a question, not a letter that he wrote, a note that he wrote in a book, the inclusion of an accent over the vowels does change how they sound, according to this lady. Whereas everything I've known about Sindarian up until this point has always suggested that the accent doesn't necessarily change the sound all that much, and rather accents are often used to differentiate 2 vowels rather than turning them into a diphthong. And a diphthong is just 2 vowels that make one sound. So, for example, in the word straight, there is an A and an I, but you don't say stra-it, you say straight. So A and I becomes A, although obviously that just sounds like A, but that's the premise of it. That's what a diphthong is. And in Sindarian, diphthongs have different sounds as they do to the vowels in English. And commonly, an accent is used just to separate the diphthong, so you do pronounce both. For example, in the King Fëanor, as you literally have just heard me say, his name is EA, but the double dots, I can't remember what double dots are called. I want to say umlaut, but I don't think it is an umlaut. Anyway, the 2 dots above an E, they separate the sound, so it becomes Fëanor rather than Fëanor. So that's often what an accent. But she was suggesting that the sounds of the vowels are basically English in their sound, and then by adding an accent, they are then changed. So, for example, she was suggesting that I is said the same way as in hit or sick, but with any accent at all, which then would... I question this, because then what's the point of having different accents? Is it just for beautification? But any accent at all above the I would then make it the double E sound that we use. So when I say arahir, that's because the I has the accent. I tend to always say arahir because accent... I've always thought the I sound was a double E anyway, and the addition of the accent just stretched out the sound. But I could, of course, be wrong. Right, we're getting shot. We're kind of in position. It's time. So, you guys take the front. Gentlemen, come behind. Hold down the spacebar to see those purple dots. Archers, come behind and start shooting what you can. And shield guard, send around the side. Get a jog on. And our general and our axe guard and our, unfortunately, lowest type unit, just stay behind. We won't need you. Speed up. I've always been very curious about the presence of the accents, though. For example, when in the days when I did think an I was just pronounced like a double E, I then questioned what an accent actually did. How do you make that sound even longer without physically taking a longer time to say it, which I don't think is what that means. But then I've never really studied English in that much depth, so I've never really understood what the when it, and like genuinely hand on heart, I've never really understood when it says a long vowel sound as opposed to a short vowel sound. And then people always try to explain it by saying like, oh, it's the O in this word, for example, is long, and the O in this word is short. And 9 times out of 10, the difference is basically nothing. And it's like, oh well. Like, only someone who's actually really practiced
but defeat seems almost certain.
linguistics is going to even understand that. How is defeat certain when 20% of them have died and 6% of us have? What conceivable reason do you have to think that we might lose this?
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way.
Yeah, damn right it bloody does.
Let's pray it remains as such.
Stop being such a dampener. Arrow fire streaming in through the trees. Doing very little because the trees always defend you. Oh, looks like they're trying to flank. The enemy can be taught. Send in the engineers for now. Battle under the trees. Where are we? Zagala. Didn't look particularly forested on the campaign map, did it? Not very forested at all. Those archers did flank us. Why didn't they just shoot us? They're archers. It doesn't make sense to me. But then, you are very small. Where's the general? Someone kill him. Let's get this done. Oh, we can do that, actually. He's gonna heal. There's more chance he'll survive than our captain, so... There you go, there's a Khazad-dûm general. He has a one-handed sword and he wields it like he has a two-handed sword. That's never good. It's a bit of a glitch. And there is a Khazad-dûm captain. With a face mask. Our army's probably tired, actually. Nothing stands taller than the might of the dwarf. Ah, they've won on that side. Oh no, they haven't.
Only half the enemy force remains.
The bodyguards are getting involved finally. Heavy goblin archers have been hit. Oh, I keep meaning to ask that guy if we can take some of his models. There's a new mod I've just seen on Total War Center. I'm not actually sure how new it is. I can't remember the start date. And it adjusts some of the orc models and textures and designs. And some of them I actually really quite like. So, again, another opportunity to increase some quality across in certain locations, anyway. I like Khazad-dûm because they're not as... I don't know, they're not as set as Erebor. They're a bit more rugged. They still have the uniformity that I always crave, but they just have a more rugged design to them. They don't have that polished plate mail. Obviously, once you get into the later stages, they do, as evident by your Zenith Guard. But their earlier ones with the chain mail look, I just really like it. I think Hummingbird did really well. Here we are slaughtering the enemy. Lost 10%. You'll be safe in my company. Send our archers up. Alright, let's go to time 6. Send in the sentries and the general's bodyguard to deal with the other enemy bodyguard. Which one is there, Captain? Let's try and find him. There, is that him? I noticed that in the later games, Shogun and Rome, the general stands in the middle of the battalion rather than on the edge. Oh, that's the general, I think. Oh, good block. He wasn't even looking and he blocked that. That was a crazy. There's a shield guard. They have the rune for 3 on their shields, if you're interested. Or 4, in fact. And where's the Zenith Guard? They have the rune, as you can quite clearly see, for 1. Once the general dies, it's over. Oh, it's already over and they're running away. Go back to time 6. Mop it up.
The enemy army flees the field.
Capture what you can.
After them. Cut the cowards down.
But I'll let the archers kill a few more things. Again, we didn't get the general. But we can end that there.
This is a clear
246 of us died, 921. And the kills go to Dwarven sentries. No surprises there. Were of Númenórean blood, hardly less pure than that of the kings, and undoubtedly had some share in the actual blood of Elendil and Anarion.
Setting up an ambush in the woods.
Oh, I think there is trees there. Either way, Zagala is ours. And the most immediate threat has been dealt with. And I think I will probably end the video there. So, thank you very much for enduring the delay and the scheduled break. Tomorrow, as ever, will be the next faction overview, whoever that is. You can check by checking back the old ones, and it's just going in the same order that it was. And then we'll continue on as normal next week, although I do hope to upload an Age of Empires video next week. I'll see how much free time I have. But I'm keen to get back to it with the amount that we've been playing and the increased level of my abilities. I'm disappointed I couldn't give you the one that I wanted to give you because it highlights my aggression very well. But that's just vanity, really, isn't it? It's just self-serving. But so for now, that will be all. So thank you very much for watching, if indeed you have. Please do comment below about anything you have any questions of, and I will endeavour to get round to answering them. If you have any questions regarding installation and whatnot, though, don't ask. Don't you do it. Don't you even think about it. So until we speak again, dear friends, Navarre and Den Pedamad Melonin, and farewell.